Yo, it's Bam Bam Mo back with me now. Even if I was to walk around Texas, New York, Louisiana, anywhere in the world, even looking at the map itself, even looking at the different continents, I can start to see that we are like cells inside of the body, right? We're like a universe, right? We're like a universe, right? And we have a universe outside of us, but then we have a universe that is within us. And you start to see that we are really the same thing as the universe. And what am I saying is that even when you look at inside of a cell, you see all these different cells that have many, like even if you was to look inside of a cell, you would see that you have the nucleus inside of every cell. And this nucleus, see how the nucleus almost completely reminds you of what? Nuclear. And you think of nuclear, you think of what? The nuclear fusion, nuclear fission, you're talking about the atom. So immediately the everything is always above, so below as within as without. It should always correlate to each other. What I'm saying is it's all just smaller and larger versions of itself, just in different states and phases of matter. So you understand that the cells in the body is we're like the cells on the earth, but it's just a different phase of itself. It's a larger form of itself. You feel what I'm saying? So you would start to see that we are components of many different elements and many different forces that come together to form the human being. And cells can only be created through molecules, right? Or to create proteins, to be able to end water, right? Or hydrogen, I meant to say. So cells can only be created through molecules, and molecules are created by atoms being bonded together, right? So what I'm saying is you have to understand that we are backtracking everything to be able to correlate everything together. So even when you're talking about before creation, it was infinity, and before infinity is eternity and infinity together. You have to understand that everything that is eternal is infinite in creation. What am I saying? That when things divide or split, the first split of anything, it wasn't really a split, it was more of a polarity, so to speak. Then you would have this masculine and feminine energy. So you would have the outer eternal versus the inside or the infinite. In this infinite, you would have time, space, or I would want what you would say is the eight octode. Now, if you take a look at the eight octode in Egypt, right, you start to see the eight octode and its correlation that they are the infinite beings, meaning the beings that are in eternal darkness. Is not really darkness, is darkness is really light, but it's in this ether or this where things are formed by eight minds coming together to make the ninth point in existence, to make creation in the next, or this sun, where you're talking about the Big Bang, so to speak, is what that is. So you're talking about beings like Hey and Hey Het, Kek and Keket, talking about Amun and Amunet, and forgot the last one, but what it is you're talking about none and none that. You're talking about water or H2O, or hydrogen, oxygen. I mean, yeah, oxygen, hydrogen, oxygen. Um, what's your other ones? Talking about darkness. Talking about all your etheric particles. Talking about neutrinos and different things like that. Talking about uh, then you have your Amun and Munet, which is talking about the hidden, which is talking about the unseen, or talking about the invisible fire, the light that you can't see with your physical eyes. You're talking about. So all of these are forces of nature that are already, that they call the Netzeru in Egypt, but they're forces of nature that come together and work together to be able to form things in a new point in existence. Talking about by dropping it in the womb, we're talking about creating through hydrogen. So once hydrogen is created through etheric particles, then this hydrogen can be able to form the sun and the sun in the universe, and then that's how everything can replicate itself. So what I'm saying is, you get to this process of hydrogen, you understand, as above so below. So hydrogen to oxygen becomes water, and this water that is below becomes a plane where you can actually have things germinate or have these germs or bacteria created and create cells and create these different formations of beings. Now you can have different beings formed through the DNA chains or DNA blocks, as they like to call them, base pairs. So you understand that everything comes from a reptilian base because the mother is a reptilian. Now you really start to see the correlation between all of those things. And you start to see the mammalian side when you get to the middle, more like bird, air. You start to associate the different elements with the different animals, the different archetypes of consciousness, so to speak, before you get back to the Godhead, which is you, because you are a reflection of the Godhead, right? And that's what people have to really comprehend and understand, is that you're a reflection of this Godhead. So that being said, plasma, hydrogen produced. In plasmatic blood, everything comes through the plasma. That's how you get everything to come through the blood and through the bloodstream is through the plasma and through the bone marrow. Now, all those notes on a piano should remind you of a keyboard. It should remind you that the notes on the keyboard 88, but some have whatever. I don't know if they might have more, but what I'm saying is all of this is 8 octaves, right? And you're talking about every 8th note or whatever, you have this octave. And what is this saying? That the 8 octave is showing you that through tones and frequencies in the mind space, you can be able to create these cycles to be able to create things inside of oneself, right? Because everything is like a shell, and everything has frequencies of dimensions, right? So through these tones and frequencies, specifically, you're talking about being able to do it in the mind. You could do it by having certain frequencies, tones played through certain notes, and they would know these notes just based off of, it can be geometric patterns, anything. Because what you're talking about is how sound and light correlate to each other, right? So in physical reality, the sound that propagates from light is the modulating amplitude of light. That is, its change in intensity, loud, brightness. The movement in intensity is the sound of light. If we're able to detect this, we could move this sound by octaves into audible range. And that's what I was just saying about the piano and octaves. So this is what they're doing in the mind space, and they're creating 3 sets of 3 energy. Or you're talking about how you got to understand when you're talking about 3 sets of 3 of dark of this etheric particles, or you're talking about subatomic particles or these gases, is you're going to have chemicals and different things that are going to come together, and this is what they call these subatomic particles, because it's pre-matter, it's before matter, and antimatter and all these different things, and in a state of neutrinos, in a state of quarks and different things like that. And but these are just names that the white man gave them, but it's Nut Ray knew. You feel what I'm saying? So that being said, this is how all this is being formed, and we are these things just in a larger form or a smaller form of itself, as above, so below, as within, as without. So if I was to take a look at these cells, it's just doing the same thing as it was doing as above. Like eternity and infinity, it's going to split itself, into 180 degrees, and then it's going to be, each polarity is inside of itself, masculine and feminine. You know what I'm saying? Then over here, it would be masculine and feminine, positive and negative, because you're creating inside of the mother. So now it's masculine and feminine, positive and negative forces. Feel what I'm saying? So this becomes the daughter cell. So that's what is happening inside of the cells because of the electromagnetic fields. And the electromagnetic fields is what's shaping it.